The Tokunbo Fernandez Show is all about promoting the true life and success stories of African and Caribbean achievers around the world. If there's a product or initiative you wish to share, feel free to give us a call. The number is 0788 280 9005.
Greetings from Malawi. I'm in Blantyre, in my home village of Mpemba, and this is what we can see. This is where I was born and grew up until the age of 10 before I went to live in the UK. And the people here are just absolutely fantastic. They're peaceful. This is all they know, this greenery, being at one with nature. There's hardly any cars up here. There's a kind of a road going up the hill. It's very hilly around here. It's about 2 or 3 miles away from the main road, which is really where my grandma's place is, on the main road there. That's really where I kind of grew up in my early days. I'm trying to think of what to say. I'm just so overwhelmed being here after such a long time. I've never actually been to this part here since I was a kid. So I've lived in the UK for 39 years now. And so it would have been 29 years ago, maybe, slightly before that, I visited this area. And it's just absolutely beautiful. I can't believe this is, I suppose, my inheritance, really, if you think about, where you're from and how the place has developed in the years that I've been away. And I've come back to this beautiful view and, just listening to the sounds of the local people here, just getting on with their daily chores and, tilling the land and getting the food from the land. It's just so beautiful. This is what I mean by my inheritance. I'm so pleasured and honored, to be here. It is such a pleasure to be here. So, what can I say? For me, it's very easy to say that people should come to Malawi and visit my homeland. It's been very difficult for me to visit here because of financial issues. It costs so much to come here and to stay here as well, because I don't have an income from Malawi, or Tanzania, which is really where I'm based nowadays, between UK and Tanzania. So I drove down from Tanzania 2,000 kilometers across the border, and have been soaking up the scenery, from the north to the south of Malawi. This is kind of the south central region of Malawi, Blantyre. Yeah, it's such a great trip. I've done it on my own from the border. So I started off with a little family based in Arusha, and we drove all through Tanzania. And then when I got to the border, they turned back and went back to Arusha. And I've been driving solo since. With my bike, I've also got my bike here. So now I'm taking some exercise on the mountain bike. But I'll be traveling back to Tanzania in about 2 days' time. And it should take me a week to drive back to Tanzania. Hopefully I'll be stopping off in a few places along the way to do some exercise on the bike, to take up the scenery, to do some swimming. Lake Malawi is one of the biggest lakes in Africa. It's a freshwater lake as well. So I'll be, sampling as much of that as possible, remembering my childhood, and meeting lovely people along the lakeshore, I'm sure. Tony asked me to do a video to say 5 things that I can promote Malawi with. 5 things that you in the UK and around the world, because Tony's channels all around the world, people around the world would want to come to Malawi based on these 5 things. For me, I don't need 5 things. This is my heart. This is my home. Maybe there's a million things that bring me back here. It's the poorest country in Africa, but it's the richest continent on this planet. Poorest financially because of the African Holocaust and the continuing colonialism and the continuing Holocaust. Our lands are the richest, yet we are the financially poor people of the world. Maybe in my lifetime that will start to change, but at the moment it's a fact. If you come from the West, you can have a lot more disposable income to spend here. So you can actually have a great time touring and just taking in some amazing scenery like I am today. And this is great for me because it's my home, but Malawi has got so much more to offer. We've got mountains, we've got coffee plantations, we've got tea, sugar plantations, which further down the road that way is where my dad was born, and that was, you know, the village that we used to go to in the summer holidays. And we lived just across the road from the sugar plantation there. So we used to eat fresh raw sugar cane, and we used to crush it and make it into juices. So there's so much to see here in this, the poorest country apparently in the world. It's so beautiful. The people are the gentlest, most placid people. We haven't had a war with anybody since independence, or pseudo-independence, because not a single African country is free or independent of colonialism today. That includes Haiti, which is the first African nation to claim independence. What we know as independence today, or you know, for the past few hundred years. But you know, on the conscious scene, we know that not a single nation is independent of colonialism. I don't know, I strayed off a little bit there. Malawi, 5 things: people, the land, the lake. It's a 365-mile long lake. It has 12 tributaries. It has, I think it's one of the deepest lakes in the world. In a part of the lake, it's around 2 miles deep. I might have my figures wrong, but you need to Google this and check it out. It's super deep anyway. It has the biggest range of tropical fish. I think you call them tropical fish. Cichlids. There's cichlid nurseries all along the lake. Yeah, I don't know much about fish. You probably have gathered that by now, but I'm trying to think. A lot of tourists go up to the lake, and a lot of them go fishing or, you know, go boating on the lake. But the people by the lakeside are equally fascinating. So check the lake out. We have mountains, we have game parks. East Africa as well, and Malawi, in the north of Malawi, is the place where steel mining was found, or discovered, sorry, in the world by humans. So the first steel mines were in East Africa. Sorry, I'm just being bitten by something. We mined steel and refined it, and the rest of the world then found out about the steel and started doing that bit by bit. So very proud of that history. Why would you guys want to come here? If you've got some disposable income, you've got good jobs, or you've got good savings, you need to be everywhere in Africa, but start in East Africa. It's unspoilt, largely unspoilt. So even the cities are very a low infrastructure. I'm not saying that's a brilliant thing to be around. You need to watch the water that you drink, make sure it's always bottled and you know, that it's from a trusted source. Because local people have a different bacteria in their stomachs, and we in the West have a different bacteria. So you're going to get some stomach bugs if you don't watch your water. So yeah, it's largely unspoilt. Start in the East and work your way around Africa. If you've got the heart to do that, to really find out about Africa, because what you know about Africa in the West is probably what I knew before I started traveling back home and actually exploring for myself and finding out for myself our history, because Western history is not African history. African history is here in Africa, and you will get the real knowledge from the people here. Let's not underplay that. The people here know what happened in the past. You just need to find the ones that know. So not your everyday Joe who's living out in the farms. There's an avocado tree right there. Is going to know the history of Africa, but your scholars, your elders in the villages, they've, you know, kept that knowledge going for a long time, and they have the accurate knowledge of what happened in Africa and where we come from and the positive things, you know, what we're actually responsible for, and not just what is written by other people who have got their own agendas, let's say. Why should you come to Africa? Why should you come to Malawi? Why shouldn't you? If you've got dark skin, if you've got melanin, this is your home. Yeah, this is where we originate from. So melanated people, stand tall and come and unite and be with these lovely people who are us. We are them. And our fight around the world, it's the same. They're just doing it from here, from the ground, and we're doing it from floating around the world in the diaspora. So come and unite, come and eat real food. Look at all these avocados growing here, mangoes and avocados, and you know, it's all no pesticides and chemicals. There's maize right here. You know, this is real food. It's not what you get from Asda and Tesco's and with your GM crops and all of that. This is real food, and it tastes the way food used to taste. Not like the rubber, plastic-filled foods that we have in the West. So I hope I've given you enough reasons with all my ramblings to come to Malawi, to come to Tanzania, where I'm based in Arusha. We have accommodation there. I can sort that out for you. Just get in touch with Tony or send me a message through this crazy video. I'm sure Tony will put a link below to how to get in touch with me. Yeah, don't make excuses. You live once. Come to the homeland, explore, move to other parts of the homeland, explore, and live your life, and you'll have stories to tell your grandchildren, and maybe your grandchildren will be doing exactly the same, carrying on that relay and making sure we're all connected with the motherland. I'm not saying you have to come and live here. It's very hard to come and live here. You have to have steel balls to come and live here, and a lot of disposable income, you know, from the West before you set up your own income here. It's very, very tricky. You have to really have a lot of resolve to do that. Just come and visit, come and explore. Remember who you are. Remember who we are. Ubuntu, Umuntu, we are one. Okay, I think I've said enough now, so let's see what you do next. Have a great day. Thank you, Tony, for this opportunity. I know it's a lot longer than you expected, but this is my way. I did it my way. Take care, everyone. Peace and love.